Have you ever walked into, say, a new office or maybe a really high-stakes meeting or even just, a social event and you just feel it? Those invisible currents, influence, success, power, just sort of swirling around?
Oh, absolutely. It's like there's this hidden game going on.
Exactly, with these unwritten rules that seem to decide who gets ahead, who people listen to, who really has the final say.
And it doesn't matter if it's about landing a huge project or just deciding whose idea gets picked up. Understanding those undercurrents, it's everything.
It really is. We often find ourselves navigating these intricate dynamics without even realizing there are rules, let alone knowing how to use them.
Right. And if you stumble, if you make a misstep, the consequences can be huge. Doors can close, opportunities just vanish, and you're left wondering, why you're stuck.
And that right there is what we're diving deep into today. We're pulling back the curtain on a framework that's powerful, sometimes seen as controversial, but honestly, undeniably insightful. Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. Before you start picturing old historical figures in castles and stuff, let's be super clear. This isn't some dusty old book full of advice that doesn't apply anymore.
Not at all. Think of it more like a practical handbook, maybe even a sometimes uncomfortable one.
Yeah, an uncomfortable but illuminating handbook for adulthood, maybe. Designed for you, listening right now, to navigate today's world.
It really does translate this ancient kind of time-tested wisdom into actionable stuff for right now, whether that's in the office if you're launching something new, or even just trying to get heard in your community.
So for this deep dive, we've really focused in. We've looked at a modern take on these laws, zeroing in on the first 5, foundational stuff.
Right. And our mission here really is to equip you with solid strategies,
Right.
ways to keep your options open, to help you make progress wherever you are, and crucially, to protect the influence you build.
It's about guarding that influence, isn't it? Against threats you might not even see coming.
Exactly. Sharpening your awareness, giving you concrete moves, things you can literally start trying out today to shift things for yourself, for your career.
Okay, let's get into it then. Law number 1, never outshine the master. Now that sounds, well, pretty straightforward maybe, even a bit odd if you're ambitious.
It does sound simple on the surface, but the core idea here is this fundamental truth, one we don't often talk about: people in power.
Your boss, senior people, maybe a key client, even professors if you're studying.
Yeah, anyone who controls resources, budgets, promotions, who gets invited to that meeting, even just the flow of information, they are incredibly sensitive.
Sensitive to what, exactly?
To feeling threatened. Their ego, their sense of authority, it's often really tied up in their position. So if they sense, even for a second, that your brilliance, your success, your potential is somehow challenging them,
Then what happens?
those doors to opportunity, they don't just quietly close. They slam shut, hard. And often, you won't even hear it happen.
Wow, slam shut. And the stakes, they're really high then. It's
Yeah.
not just about one missed promotion.
Oh, much higher. It can mean getting subtly sidelined, your best ideas get ignored, contributions downplayed, your whole career might just plateau, and you're left scratching your head wondering why.
We've all seen it, haven't we? Someone new comes in, they're brilliant, super capable, delivering amazing results.
But they do it in a way that makes their boss feel, well, less needed, less smart, less in control.
And that ambition, which should be a good thing, suddenly looks like a challenge, like they're trying to take over, even if they're not.
Precisely. It's not about your intent, it's 100% about how your actions are perceived by the person above you. And that's where the art of subtlety becomes, well, your best friend, your most powerful tool.
Okay, so navigating this needs finesse. What are the actual strategies? How do you manage this?
Right, let's get practical. First move, lift before you climb. This means finding genuine ways to publicly credit your superiors, making their contribution visible.
Okay, give me an example. How does that look?
Imagine you're presenting a big project. You did most of the heavy lifting. But instead of jumping right into your work, you start with something like, Before we dive in, I really have to acknowledge our lead's guidance here. Her insight on X was critical. It actually helped us pivot and saved us maybe a week of dev time.
Okay, so you're highlighting their input right at the start.
Exactly. When everyone's listening, including the boss, you do a few things there. 1, you make your boss feel genuinely valued, not overshadowed. 2, you show you understand the hierarchy, you're a team player.
But does it risk sounding fake, like you're just sucking up, especially if your boss is smart?
That's a really good point. The key is genuine. Don't invent contributions. Find the real ones, even small ones, and highlight them sincerely. When it's authentic, it doesn't land as flattery.
So it actually makes you look better, more mature, more collaborative.
Paradoxically, yes. It shows you're secure enough not to hog the spotlight. You understand shared success lifts everyone. It makes your boss feel invested in your success, not threatened by it. They see you as an asset who makes them look good.
So it's not about hiding your light, it's about angling it so it reflects well on them too. Makes them want to pull you up.
Okay, that makes sense. What's the next tactic?
Next up is the strategic ask. This is about selectively asking for advice on things you, let's say, half know.
Half no. So, not pretending to be clueless.
Definitely not. It's not about incompetence. It's a sophisticated way to show respect and, honestly, a brilliant way to build an alliance. You go to your boss or a senior mentor with a problem you've already thought about, maybe even have some solutions for.
But you ask for their input anyway.
Right. I say something like, I've been looking at this and I think options A or B might work, but I'd really value your perspective given your experience with similar challenges. You give them a chance to mentor, to share their wisdom, to feel essential to your process.
Ah, I see. You're drawing them in, making them invest their own thinking into your project. Exactly. It creates psychological buy-in. When a leader helps you solve your problem, they subconsciously become invested in your success. They shift from just overseeing you to kind of advocating for you.
That's clever. Leveraging their desire to be seen as wise and helpful turns a potential gatekeeper into an ally.
Precisely. But a quick warning here. Don't ask about things you absolutely should know. That backfires, shows you haven't done your homework.
Right. Choose the topic carefully, something where their experience genuinely adds value beyond what you already figured out. Okay. And the last piece for this law. How do we make sure our actual achievements get seen without triggering that outshining reaction?
This leads to storing your wins for the right moment. It's about discipline. Keep a private log, digital, physical, whatever works of your accomplishments. Big wins, small wins, positive feedback.
Okay, got the log, but you said not to broadcast everything.
Right. The power isn't in the logging, it's in the timing and the setting of the reveal. The perfect time. Your one-on-one check-ins with your manager.
Ah, so in private, when they're already focused on your performance and development.
Exactly, when they're in mentor mode. You're not showboating in front of the team, which could feel like grandstanding. You're presenting your successes in a controlled space where they can see it as evidence of their good management, their good hiring decision.
It becomes part of their success story, too, in a way.
Precisely. They can internalize it, champion it. It builds your case for more responsibility for that next step without triggering any alarms. It's a quiet, strategic buildup.
Makes you think, doesn't it? How many chances might have been missed? How many careers stalled just because someone didn't grasp this first really foundational law?
But the sobering thought probably happens far more often than we realize.
Okay, let's move on. Law number 2. This one also challenges common ideas. Never put too much trust in friends use constructive opposition. This feels personal.
It does, and it can feel really counterintuitive. But the core idea is this stark contrast. Friends, mostly, tend to be your echo chamber.
They agree with you, support you, make you feel good.
Right. Comfort, validation, a safe space. That's the mirror. But real progress, real growth, that often comes from friction, from correction, from people willing to challenge you, sharpen your ideas, even if it's uncomfortable. That's the anvil.
The mirror versus the anvil. I like that. It really captures the danger of too much comfort, maybe.
Absolutely. That echo chamber feels nice, but it can make you blind to flaws in your plans, your thinking. It builds this false sense of security.
So when your idea actually hits the real world, a skeptical client, a tough market, you're unprepared.
Exactly, because no one close to you gave you that tough feedback early on. Sometimes the most loyal thing a friend can do is disagree, push back, make you defend your idea, make it stronger.
Okay, so how do we actively cultivate that? How do we use this constructive opposition if our instinct is to, avoid conflict with people we like?
Great question. First tactic, the red team review. This is where you deliberately seek out criticism before the main event.
Red team, like in cybersecurity.
Sort of. You find that colleague, the one known for being blunt, maybe a bit critical, the one who always spots the flaw.
Oh, we all know one of those.
Right. And you invite them to tear your proposal apart. Poke holes in it. Find the weaknesses. Ask the tough questions. But you do it in private, early on.
So instead of being blindsided in the big meeting, you face the tough stuff beforehand when you can still fix it.
Precisely. It's like a stress test for your ideas.
Yeah.
You turn potential vulnerabilities into strengths because you've anticipated the criticism. By the time you actually present, your idea is battle-hardened. You've already heard the worst, and you have answers.
That's smart. Proactive defense for your ideas. Okay, what else? How else can we leverage opposition?
Second strategy, strategic skill swaps. This is kind of unexpected. It means deliberately trading skills or knowledge with someone who might even be seen as a competitor.
Trading with a rival. How does that work?
Say you're great at design, but not so hot on data analysis, and there's someone else who's the opposite. Maybe you're both eyeing similar roles or projects.
Okay.
You propose a swap. Hey, I can help you polish the visuals for your next presentation. If you could walk me through how you built that financial model.
You offer your strength for theirs.
Huh. That feels counterintuitive again. Why help a competitor?
Because it shifts the whole dynamic. It builds mutual respect. You're acknowledging their skill. It strategically cools down the rivalry. You might turn an adversary into an ally or at least a valuable collaborator.
You find common ground, a win-win. Instead of just competing, you build bridges.
Exactly. You expand your own skill set, gain insights, and neutralize a potential threat all at once.
Okay, but what about when friends actually do work together? Because that's often where this law feels most relevant and most painful when it goes wrong.
That brings us to the third and maybe the most crucial strategy for this law. Paper the friendship.
Favor the friendship, meaning write things down.
Yes. If you start any kind of project, business, even a significant shared task with friends, you absolutely must formalize things. Write down roles, responsibilities, how money works, if it's involved, who owns what. Do it early. Even with close friends, that feels awkward. Like you don't trust them.
It feels incredibly awkward. But think about the alternative. So many friendships crash and burn because of unspoken expectations, fuzzy roles, money issues.
Yeah, ambiguity is a killer.
That's the core message. Clarity keeps friendships whole. It's not about distrusting your friend. It's about protecting the relationship from the inevitable stress and ambiguity that comes with working together.
You're removing the biggest potential source of conflict before it even starts.
Exactly. It's a shield for the friendship.
Right.
So the big takeaway here, true loyalty isn't just agreeing. It's helping each other improve, and sometimes that means having uncomfortable conversations and setting clear boundaries to protect the bond itself.
That reframes loyalty completely. Okay, law number 3, conceal your intentions. This one sounds potentially manipulative.
It can sound that way, maybe a bit Machiavellian, but think of it as strategically practical, self-protective even.
House.
If you broadcast your grand plans, your big ambitions, your next move, you're essentially inviting trouble, interference, competition, maybe even sabotage from people who don't want you to succeed.
So telling everyone your master plan gives them a chance to stop you or copy you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Real power in this sense comes from revealing things step by step, like a chess player. You only show the next move, not the whole strategy. This gives you flexibility. You can adjust, adapt, make your move quietly, catch people off guard. They end up reacting to you, not blocking you ahead of time.
Keeping an element of surprise, control. But what about transparency? We hear so much about being open, authentic. Isn't hiding things a problem?
It can be a strategic weakness, absolutely. Transparency is great for building trust within a team that's already aligned, but broadcasting everything to the wider world, or even within a large organization with competing agendas.
Yeah, that could let rivals copy you or undermine you before you even get going.
Precisely. If everyone knows exactly what you're doing and why, they can build defenses, counter your moves, dilute your impact. Keeping some things close to your chest means you keep the initiative. You control the narrative.
Okay, so how do we do this without seeming secretive or untrustworthy? What are the tactics?
First, master the next step answer. When someone asks about your long-term plan, especially someone outside your immediate trusted circle, you just talk about the next concrete milestone.
So not the 5-year vision, just the next quarter's goal.
Exactly. For instance, if you're launching a big new thing and someone asks, where's this headed, right? You might say, right now, our absolute focus is nailing the beta launch next month, making sure that initial user experience is flawless. You're truthful, you give them something concrete, but you don't reveal the whole playbook.
You satisfy curiosity but maintain control. And you keep your options open if things need to change later.
Precisely. It allows for that stealthy adjustment. Second tactic, embrace being the quiet learner.
Quiet learner.
Yeah. Acquire valuable new skills without making a big announcement. Maybe you take an online course in data science at night, or learn a new language, or master a negotiation technique. You don't talk about it
Until
there's a real problem that needs solving. A data crisis, a market insight no one else sees, a tricky deal. And suddenly, you step forward with the perfect, unexpected solution.
Ah, that boosts your value and your mystique, doesn't it? You're not just capable, you're surprisingly capable.
Exactly. It creates this aura of competence, of hidden depth. You gain influence through demonstrated results, not just talking about potential. You become the go-to person because you have this hidden arsenal.
Okay, that's powerful. What's the third strategy for concealing intentions?
This one's quite clever. Decoy goals.
Decoy goals, like a distraction.
Pretty much. Especially with, say, chatty colleagues, potential rivals, anyone who might try to copy or interfere with your real important work.
Yeah.
You subtly let them think you're focused on something else.
For example,
You might mention you're spending a lot of time tidying up the user interface or improving internal documentation. Plausible, sounds productive, but maybe not your main strategic push. Meanwhile, your actual focus is, say, overhauling the pricing strategy or developing a new customer acquisition channel.
That's brilliant misdirection. You send them chasing shadows.
Exactly. He keeps potential copycats or meddlers busy focusing on something relatively unimportant, leaving your real high-impact work undisturbed. They're chasing the decoy while you make progress on the real prize. The feeling you get from mastering this. It's like holding all the cards, revealing them only when you choose. It leaves others guessing, gives you control.
A definite strategic edge. Okay, law number 4. Always say less than necessary. This sounds like just being quiet, but I suspect there's more to it.
Oh, much more. It's not just about silence. The core idea is that brevity radiates confidence, authority, even a little mystery.
Whereas talking too much.
Talking too much, rambling, over-explaining, justifying everything, it's like a slow leak. It drains your leverage. It reveals weaknesses, maybe intentions you wanted to keep hidden, insecurities. The more you say, the higher the chance you'll say the wrong thing.
So less is more. Every extra word can dilute your power. Seems counterintuitive again when everyone's encouraged to communicate constantly.
Right. But think about it. Unnecessary details, trying too hard to fill silence. It can make you look desperate to impress or unsure of your own points. Concise, deliberate speech, that makes every word count. People lean in. They respect your time and your message. It signals control.
It's about impact, not volume. Okay, how do we practice this economy of influence? What are the moves?
First, the 3-line email. Aim for this discipline. Purpose, key fact, next action. That's it.
3 lines, that's tight. Purpose, key fact, next action. Does it risk sounding abrupt?
Maybe initially, but in a professional context, it mostly comes across as decisive, respectful of people's time. Your emails stand out in a cluttered inbox. People quickly learn you get straight to the point. It signals efficiency, clarity, highly valued traits.
Okay, I can see that. Efficiency over excessive politeness, maybe. What's next?
Second, practice the strategic pause. Just a brief, maybe 2-second silence before you answer a question, respond to an offer, or react to a challenge.
2 seconds. Doesn't sound like much, but I bet it feels longer in the moment.
It absolutely does. It
Right.
creates this little vacuum, and people often rush to fill it. They might nervously add more detail, reveal extra information, maybe even backtrack slightly on their position. In a negotiation, they might offer that concession you were hoping for, just to break the silence.
So the silence itself becomes a tool. It makes them reveal more, and it makes you look thoughtful, controlled.
Exactly. It signals you're considering carefully, not just reacting. It gives your eventual words more weight. It subtly shifts the pressure onto them.
Fascinating. A tiny pause with potentially big impact. Okay, third strategy for saying less.
Bullets over stories. Know when to use which. Formal updates, status reports, project briefs. Use bullet points. Crisp, clear, fast.
Get the core info across without fluff.
Right. Save the anecdotes, the detailed explanations, the engaging stories for more informal settings. Lunch with the team, coffee breaks, social events. That's where you build rapport with narrative.
So match the communication style to the context. Professional clarity when needed, personal connection at other times.
Precisely. It ensures your key messages land effectively when it matters most without sacrificing your ability to connect on a human level elsewhere. And think about the stakes here. How many deals lost? How many points missed just because someone talked too much, gave away too much? The power of brevity is seriously underrated.
It really makes you reconsider every interaction. Okay, final law for today. Law number 5. Guard your reputation with your life. This feels incredibly relevant now, maybe more than ever.
It absolutely is. The core idea. Your reputation is your single most vital asset. It's like a fortress. It's the unseen force that opens doors or slams them shut before you even get there.
It influences everything: trust, collaboration, opportunities.
Everything. It precedes you.
Oh.
And that's why Greene says guard it with your life. Because once it's damaged, it's incredibly hard to repair. It's your personal brand, your currency in the world.
And today, that reputation isn't just built face-to-face, it's online. Social media, old posts, photos, everything leaves a trace. You can't just ignore it.
Ignoring it is dangerous. Reputation is constantly being shaped online and offline, sometimes without you even knowing. A passive approach leaves you totally vulnerable. Misunderstandings, old mistakes resurfacing, even deliberate attacks. You have to be proactive, vigilant.
So how do we build and defend this fortress, especially in this digital age? What are the practical steps?
First step, the quarterly self-audit. Regularly, maybe every 3 months, maybe more if you're visible, search your own name online. Google yourself, check social media privacy settings rigorously.
And look for
anything you wouldn't want a future client, boss, or investor to see. Old embarrassing posts, photos, comments that don't reflect who you are now. Scrub it. Clean it up.
like a regular health check for your online self, finding vulnerabilities before someone else does.
Yes, exactly. It's proactive defense, taking control of your narrative, preventing nasty surprises down the line. Second, the consistent signal.
Consistent signal.
Pick your lane. What's your area of expertise? Automation, freelancing tips, sustainable design, whatever. Choose 1 or 2 core areas, and then consistently share valuable insights in that lane.
So not just random posting, but focused strategic sharing.
Precisely. It's not just content creation, it's building an association. You want people to think of you when they think of that topic.
So when someone needs an expert in X, your name pops into their head.
That's the goal. You tag your name to that value. It builds your professional brand like a shield, makes you respected, sought after in your niche. You become synonymous with valuable expertise.
Creating that magnetic pull for opportunities. Okay. And the final strategy for guarding reputation, especially when working with others.
This one is absolutely critical. Keep receipts.
Receipts, like proof.
Yes, keep proof of your work, your contributions, your agreements, screenshots of important messages or designs, version histories for documents or code, signed contracts, email confirmations, meeting notes.
Why is that so crucial?
Because in today's fast-paced, collaborative world, credit can get fuzzy. Sometimes accidentally, sometimes not so accidentally. People's memories fade, or maybe someone tries to take credit for your work.
So if there's ever a dispute or during a review, you have hard evidence.
Exactly. If credit ever gets fuzzy, you have proof without drama. You just present the facts. No arguments, no he said, she said. It protects your integrity, ensures your contributions are recognized. It's not paranoia, it's strategic preparation.
It prevents your hard work from being erased or claimed by someone else, protects the foundation of your reputation.
And the consequence of not doing this. The chilling thought is that your reputation, whether you actively build it or neglect it, is already deciding your future, opening or closing doors before you even walk up to them.
Wow. That really hits home. The weight of reputation is immense.
It truly is. But ultimately, understanding power, using these laws effectively, it's not really about manipulation or domination.
What is it about then?
It's about maximizing your options. Understanding the hidden rules so you can create leverage, shape your circumstances, have more control over your path, instead of just being pushed around by forces you don't understand.
And these 5 laws we've discussed, they're like levers for keeping those options open, aren't they?
Exactly. Never outshine the master creates allies above you. Never trust friends too much, Maine. Strengthens your ideas through challenge. Conceal intentions keeps you agile and ahead. Say less than necessary amplifies your authority. Guard. Your reputation ensures people already trust and respect you.
They all work together to give you more agency.
And they're not just abstract ideas. These are actual moves, things you can start trying out, adapting, using in your own life. Right now, today.
Tools for navigating those invisible currents we talked about at the start.
Indispensable tools. In the office, in your side hustle, in your community. Anywhere influence and progress matter.
So a challenge for everyone listening. Think about your interactions tomorrow, or even later today. Where could using just one of these laws, maybe one that felt uncomfortable at first, actually shift the dynamic?
Could it turn a no into a maybe? Open a door that seemed locked? Maybe turn something you saw as a weakness into a surprising strength?
Which law will you test first? What kind of shift could it create for you?
The potential is there. The power to shape things, to expand your options. It's waiting for you to pick it up and use it thoughtfully.